Hello and welcome to PRSay. This is the official podcast of the Houston chapter of the Public Relations Society of America. And I have the pleasure of introducing you to some of our fantastic members that we have in Houston. One of the largest, I would add, chapters here in the U.S. And we love to connect, network, and get to know each other. So I am thrilled to bring to you two members of a really outstanding team here out of the Houston chapter in just a second. But before I bring them on, I want to make sure we take care of some housekeeping. If you are listening on the podcast, make sure you hit subscribe. We don't want you to miss any episodes of PRSay. And if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, drop us some comments so my guest and I can be sure to circle back with you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring on our guests here. They are joining me. Let's see if we can get everybody on the screen here. Yay! They are joining me from the Harmony Public Relations team, the communications team. I have Kaan and Anh joining us. Welcome. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anh Gilmore. I am the District Community Partnerships for Harmony Public Schools Central Office, and this is my 12th year with Harmony Public Schools.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kaan Camuz, and I have been with Harmony since the beginning, since 1999. And I am really delightful to be part of this team. I used to be a teacher, assistant principal, superintendent, and then later on joined the PR team. And we are really happy that we are trying to help the Harmony's students. So we are here. Thanks to Veronica.
All right. Thank you so much. And it's so great to have fellow educators on the podcast, because we do have a lot of education outlets. We've got a great team from some of the higher ed folks as well as the K-12 folks in our chapter of PRSA. So let's talk a little bit about your focus. I know a big part of the work you do is community engagement, resources, providing direct access to families, and how we go about communicating that to them. So tell me a little bit about how your team is broken up and how you actually make sure that those elements are embedded in all the work you do.
So I guess I can address that. Basically, Harmony schools are located in the entire state of Texas. They are located in 23 different cities of Texas. So our target audiences, in terms of community outreach, you could say that we are trying to connect with the communities in these 23 different cities of Texas, and accordingly, since all the politics are local and all the community engagements are also local, so we have local people doing this community outreach in these different locales. So our team accordingly has people located in different cities of Texas, and we also have a central office where I and Anh are located, and we also try to do the same thing here in Houston as well. And our colleagues in these different cities are also members of the PRSA and the other related PR organizations in their own respective cities as well. And we try to connect these different communities, and we also get together on a regular basis to share best practices, and also sometimes some community resources are available statewide and nationwide, obviously. So we also share those, with each other as well, so that we can cast a wider net on communities' resources for our students and families.
That's so fantastic. And the fact that you are so embedded in other communities probably makes that a bit of a challenge, because what works in one community may not necessarily work in another. So Anh, speak to that, since you're more feet on the ground, or man on the ground kind of. What are some of the challenges in communications as we're trying to connect with our local constituency?
Like Kaan said, I'm one, along with 5 other team members that take care of our local districts and regions. I think the biggest challenge we face is finding what's unique to our local region. Like Kaan said, we all get together, we share best practices, but everyone's dealing with different challenges, political climates. So we do our best and we really connect with local chambers. I think that we learn so much from our local chambers. They kind of tell us what the political climate is like, what the educational climate is like. So I feel like the best way to kind of tap into and solve that challenge is to just really get out there, like you said, get on the field, talk to people, make relationships are really important, build that trust within your community. I found that that works best. It's just building trust, tap into your community resources, your chambers, and any other local organizations. It could be a Rotary Club. Those are all really helpful.
Definitely. And the other thing that was really interesting is the fact that your organization is so committed to your district level folks being involved in PRSA, as well as the other communication chapters. There's not only opportunity for networking, but also opportunity for just some of that legacy, if you will, some of the things that have happened before. Especially if you guys haven't been in that market for a significantly long time, that can give you some background. So I'm sure that's been really helpful. Kaan, can you tell me a little bit about some of the communication goals that you have as an organization? Since you are managing at a higher level, what are some of those things that you have to stay focused on while your district level folks really get embedded into the community?
Sure. Happy to address that. So, first of all, we always remember that we serve students and families, and we try to shape our entire PR department and PR efforts around that thought and around those needs. We realize that our communities, including our students and families and our alumni, they all have lots of needs. And what we try to do is first we try to identify those needs, and this is the research part, obviously, of the PR process. And after identifying those needs, of course, that come from our own people, then we try to strategize around those needs, and we put a message. We try to put a message, a story of our students and our families' needs, and then once we have our talking points that talk about these needs. Now we try to go out and start building relationships, cultivating and maintaining relationships. And this is very obvious, and this is very needed in today's world. Yes, social media and the media are quite important in terms of spreading these news. But we also believe that the human-to-human interactions and those types of in-person relationships between people and between the organizations are very, very important as well. So after taking care of the communications side of all these efforts, which is the social media coverages, etc., we also try to go out and make these human-to-human connections. We also try to work with the influencers, the community leaders, and tell them our students and our families' stories and their needs using different channels, human-to-human channels, and also using so many other communications channels. And another channel that we use is we try to bring these people to our campuses. And when we bring them to campuses and have them speak to the families, the students, the teachers, the alumni, and our community partners, they all see the need in a much better setting. And then now bringing those community resources for those people in need becomes easier.
Yeah, and I love that connection that you just made. And you said something I think that's really important for us to take note of as communicators. You have to essentially meet people where they are. Bring those services to them sometimes. And so because you're leveraging personal relationships with those organizations and those resources, it's probably much easier to make that connection happen for your families than in traditional form, right? I mean, that's probably got to make it so much easier for your families and ultimately your students.
Yeah, definitely. Another tool, if you will, that we try to use is, of course, we have events, lots of events, and we have our own statewide initiatives. And through those events and statewide initiatives, we also try to connect communities with our school communities, resources, organizations with the school communities, and they can come and see through these campaigns and events, what we are, what we are really trying to do. And our organization's focus, which is STEM education, by the way, STEM education is our bread and butter, and also character education. How, as a school community, we try to increase the quality of the community's, character. And when people come and see this really in place, they are willing to help more.
Right.
I may try to give an example. And there have been so many different examples of this happening in our school communities, obviously. But one example was what happened in one of our Austin schools. One of our initiatives was, we started participating in esports. As a way for our students to express themselves, in the e-space. But then, the program was struggling a little bit because we just like all the other programs, that program also needed funding, and because we want to support teachers, we want to support the sponsors who are supporting the program, and one day, we brought the Texas Workforce Commission into our campuses, and then the people of the Texas Workforce Commission, and then they came and then they saw our entire operation regarding how our program for the esports participation works, and then they realized that they were about to give some money for these types of programs, and then in their money giving program, they did not include the charter schools. And after seeing what kind of offerings we have in our schools and witnessing it firsthand, they went to their own board meeting, and then in the board meeting they made a decision to give this additional funding support to all of the charter schools in the state as well, including us. So that is one example of us combining our efforts, and to bring community resources for our students and families.
Oh, that's a great example. And we all need to be doing more of that. So I love how you incorporated all of those strategies and to make a big difference for your students. And so, Kaan, we had an opportunity to hear your journey of coming out of the classroom and matriculating up through administration, but Ann, we haven't heard yours. So tell us how you got into PR and how you got into school PR.
Sure. So I started off teaching elementary science for 2 years, and then I slowly kind of worked up to science department chair, and then eventually found my way into the school administration, being an assistant principal. And being an assistant principal, you have to work with your community, you have to work with your parents, all stakeholders. So when I was an assistant principal, we started bringing in literacy initiative and programs, working with our local sports team, the Houston Rockets. And we built a literacy program in a partnership with that. And I was like, this is so much fun. Like I'm able to connect with the community. I'm able to bring in resources for our students and just kind of seeing the impact that that made, not only academically, but their social and emotional well-being. So I really enjoyed doing that. And I was like, I wish I could do this more and full time. And eventually, a district position opened up for director of community outreach. And so I started doing that. And 8 years later, here I am, still getting
Here
to do
you
what I love.
Yes, yes. And you got your team won some awards at the recent Houston chapter PRSA Excalibur Awards. So congratulations to the Harmony team. Good job, guys.
Thank you. I was there getting our award alongside with Veronica as well.
Yes.
But that was based off our Harmony Partners in Education program. We've been going strong these last couple years. And one addition to that partnership program that I feel like really made a difference was a tool, a software that we started using to match our school's needs with what the partners were offering us out in the community. And so that was a really good way to engage both the schools and the partners to see what the schools needed and see if partners out there can match it or even provide more resources. And I think that really helped grow our partnership program.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it did. That's fantastic. Anytime you can automate it and make it easier for anyone.
Yes.
Yes, good job. Well, I just applaud the work that you're doing. I so enjoyed getting to know you guys, and I hope that as you are out and about engaging with other PRSA members, that you tap into them and their resources to see how they can help you improve what's happening on your campuses, because I think you guys are doing a great job.
Please say hi. And it's like Veronica says, it's important for us to all work together. I mean, we're all trying to serve the community. We're all trying to help kids grow academically and emotionally. So it's all about the kids. Education is key. So please help us help the community.
I love it. Thank you guys so much. Kaan and Ann, it was a joy having you on PRSA, and I look forward to see you guys in person.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Very nice to see you.
You bet. All right, that wraps up this episode. Make sure you connect with our friends there at Harmony. They are a great team. They've got great communicators doing fantastic things for kids. So when you are out and about at our Houston events, make sure you say hello. We were going to go ahead and wrap up this episode of PRSay. If you are listening on the podcast, make sure you hit subscribe. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, tag us and let us know that you're watching. We'll catch you next